We are. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. It's First Formation Morning Sports Talk. It's me, your boy Trey. You got my man Bishop. We got Cornelius Cole, CC, S.Y.M, S.Y.M. Stimulate your mind. Craig, whatever you want to add about that. What's good, gentlemen? How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. Good
WGO,
morning. Great.
WGO. What's going on, y'all? How y'all living, man? What's up, man? It's Thursday. What do I call Thursday, Trey? What do I call Thursday?
Thursday is the weekend eve in
Eve.
this.
That's right, baby. It's Friday Eve. That is.
Weekend.
We on a weekend Eve. That's right. We in our Thursday, man. We have surpassed Hump Day. So fall in. It's all about the first formation, man. Good morning to all you great folks, man. Hopefully, I won't have those technical
What's
difficulties
good,
which I was
Key?
having yesterday. Good morning, Key. Let me first apologize to Trey and CC for I don't know what it is. My computer decided to do its own update in the middle of the show, and I'm normally the one that sets the updates. I don't know how these computers can do what they want to do when they want to do it. I don't know, but anyway, hopefully I won't have no problems. But hey, real quick, I know we gotta let CC get his time in too and say good morning. Hey, CC, real quick, how'd you do with your picks last night?
Here this dude go.
Great. Great on
You
the
you
picks.
was
Both teams
you
won
was
again.
2-0, right? Because I know I was
Yes.
2-0. I know I was 2-0.
Yes.
You was 2-0. You was
Yes.
2-0.
2-0.
See, okay. I thought I was 2-0 too. It's funny how that phone just happened to ring at the perfect time. The perfect time for me to ask. Trey, how did you do on your picks yesterday, bro? Just a real quick question. Everybody, inquiring minds want to know. Go ahead, CC.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Representing the S.Y.M show. Uh, I just want to say, if y'all haven't check me out at the S.Y.M show. That's DASYM show.com. That stimulates your mind. And back to the trade. How did you do?
You know what? Again, I'm a big.
You
Y'all
gonna
know I'm
stop?
a
You gonna
big. I'm
stop?
big
Trey,
on.
what you gonna
I'm
do?
big. I'm big on
What you
one thing,
gonna do
right?
is stop going
Stop
against
playing.
us, man. You gonna
So
stop
what?
playing
What
with
I
us?
what I try to do is I try to always. I'm a person that enacts on. I'm a person that looks at emotions, right? And so I believe, for the most part, when you do certain things, you enact certain emotions. And so when I looked at the game last night, I realized that the same emotions that I had about the game the previous night before was the same emotions as which I was feeling as I watched. And so the only thing was I was it was an emotional roller coaster and high because in this point Charlotte never had an opportunity to get back
Never,
and get in the game
never,
Right.
late
Never.
late in it. It was a
never
close game until Atlanta blew
ran
the
away with it.
blew the doors off the arena in the third quarter. But we of
Oh
course
yeah.
we'll get to that. We matter of fact that'd be one of the first things in which we get to, in which we talk about. Of course, last night with this NBA recap. Oh, you know what? Hold up. Let me go back. First, let me preface was this right. Uh, I I don't like these type of things because I always feel like the bishops are gonna say I'm trying to set a narrative or I'm trying to do something, especially when it comes to teams that are related to my favorite squads in across the spectrum of sports. Of course, I'm from California, Compton representing, and I'm basically like California everything when it comes in reference to sports for the most part. Lakers, Trojans, Dodgers, Kings, Sparks, 49ers. Yeah, the XFL's coming on. The
I saw
Wild
that
Los
yesterday too.
LA Wildcats. Like, what I'm saying, all saying, I'm that's one to the death of me. Those are my squads. So it just so happened in which when I be looking at some of these things, I see certain things. One thing we could say, which is not necessary California related, or it starts because, of course, we all know quarterback JT Daniels started out his career in college in USC. You had the situation where he was overthrown by Keaton and he decided to transfer. He transferred to UGA. He got to UGA, played the season. I think got hurt. He no, actually he was replaced by the a 4 starting quarterback who ends up going to win the national championship. Now here we have Mr. Daniels transferring again, and he is now, I'm supposing, going to compete for the starting quarterback position in West Virginia. So now he has transferred from USC to Georgia, and from Georgia to West Virginia. Gentlemen, I ask y'all that if you have paid attention to
Good morning,
Mr.
Trey.
Daniels, do you think he's going to finally find his footing in West Virginia and go on to be the quarterback in which everyone thought he was going to be when he came out of school as a 5-star recruit? JT Daniels.
I'm gonna say that if it's taking him this long, I hope he finds it because
I'm just like
I
the
mean,
same thing. I'm like, is he relevant right now? Like, really?
I mean, like how many transfers does it take? The transfer portal, by the way, is becoming like free agency, right? Like it's so many
He
entering
really
that
is.
transfer portal to get where they trying to be or where they want to be. Oh, it's not working here. I don't want to sit back up. Nobody wants to put it in their time. I think that like certain things come to you, right? Like take a Cam Newton, right? His path to the NFL wasn't easy. His path in college wasn't easy, right? Like, I think he played behind Tim Tebow or something like that in Florida or
Correct.
something, right?
Yes.
Then
he was.
then he left, went to like junior college or something and was ridiculous and won championship there.
Yeah, went to Blinn College and then came back.
Finally ended up in Auburn. Yep.
Yeah, to get it up in Auburn. So if that's what it takes for the young man to get it, man, then okay. But it's like, hey, man, how many schools are you going to go to before your eligibility is up and before before you're not as relevant, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
and that's my thing about it, man. Real quick, Trey. I feel like it should be a limit to it, man. I feel like you shouldn't be able to school hop all over the damn country, man, to try and find find a team that's going to accept you, or a team that you go to accept, or you like what you hear from them. I feel like it should be a minimum of how many schools you should be able to transfer to.
I think in this case, because like I said, he did transfer from USC to Georgia,
Right.
in which I think he
Georgia.
sat the time.
He's going to West Virginia, right?
Yeah, he's going to West Virginia, but I think he's going to West Virginia as a grad school.
Okay. If that's the case, then that's different.
So it's a little bit different.
That's different. Yeah, that's different.
Hey, look, Anthony AP, he the only one. Like okay, yesterday when I got back, I didn't realize the difference in the time frame. So I happened to get back on. I got your text, Bishop, and I thought y'all was done. So after I left,
I couldn't get back home.
After I left my meeting, I was sitting there and I was I got back. Someone was like, "Check, go ahead." Kim. Kim had I seen the Kim had liked or hearted the post, and I was like, "What's she liking?" I was like, "Is there something?" So I clicked on. What I clicked on, it shows Cornelius on the screen still. So I'm thinking like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It must be the recording. What's good, JP? What's good?
What up, Jay?
I'm thinking it must be the recording, right. And so I look up. And as I'm clicking out of it in the corner of the eye, I look up and I see live. So I'm like, "Oh snap, he's still live!" And so I jump back. I tried to jump back on, and I come back into the studio, but it has me as a visitor, so I can't get into the stream because I have to be let in. And so it got me sitting backstage. And so I'm trying to get on so I can get backstage. And then I end up finally figuring it out. I have to go another route, go log in. And then I come in. And then because I was on an elevator going down and I'm talking to people about the situation. Bringing up the situation. And what happens is I didn't realize I was live. And so I finally figured out, I was like, oh snap. And so because Jackie was like, hey, can't you get Buddy to? I was like, by the time I get ready, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to. And then I was like, oh well, so but you know what I'm saying, shout out to you know what I'm saying, Cornelius holding it down. I'm not sure what y'all talking.
Like I said, man, I appreciate you, man. It kept kicking me off. And then the final time I tried to get back on, and wouldn't even let me back on. So I had to. I actually restarted the computer. The first time I came back on with CC to see if it would work, and it let it work for a minute, and then it kicked me right back off again. And I was like, man,
And then to
I
add
don't know what
insult
to
to
do.
injury, I got to the meeting. And he's like, "Oh, Trey, we ain't even need you."
Oh wow, what's going on?
Good morning. Good
Brad, what's
morning.
good?
What's
What's
good,
up,
Dre?
Dre?
What's
What's
good?
good?
What's
What's
good?
good? What's
But
good?
yes,
What's good?
so back to
So
that.
I
Like,
mean, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So if I'm sure he did. He held it down. When we appreciate CC for holding it down for us, man. No doubt, no doubt. But yeah, if that's the case on why JT Daniels is going to West Virginia, then yeah, I don't have a problem with that. He's going to work
I
out.
think it's because of the
No
transfer.
problem
But
Right.
whatsoever.
again,
Yeah,
it brings up Cornelius brings up a good
no
point.
problem,
Like,
Freddie. We had problems yesterday.
uh, he brings up a good point though. Like the transfer portal across the whole spectrum of college sports is kind of being used. Like, okay, I can't start. I'm here. I think a lot of Eagles are getting bruised as well because it's like, okay, I'm here. I was a starter.
Mhm.
This other cat comes in. Let's not saying let's take it.
Oh,
Let's not.
just
Let's
go
not.
ahead.
Let's not
Just go
omit.
ahead and say it.
Let's not omit
Just go
Rattler.
ahead and say it, Chad. This is what
Rattler.
he tried to say, CC. He talking
Rattler.
about Spencer Rattler. He's
Let's
talking
not
about
omit
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer
This
Rattler.
is what he trying to
Oh,
say. See,
I don't hear no boom,
yeah, because he's no longer a
zoom
Sooner. Because he's no
now.
longer a Sooner, y'all. Because he's no longer a Sooner. He carries his butt over there to South Carolina and do what you do. He's no longer a Sooner. He went to a weak conference. Yeah, going over
He's
there.
still in
He ain't no
he's still
Sooner.
in the SEC. What are you talking about?
The Carolina shouldn't even be in the SEC.
right,
I
right,
forgot they
right.
in the SEC. Is Carolina? I thought they was in the ACC.
No, they're in the SEC.
Oh,
SEC,
well
man.
then, the Gamecocks.
The
Yeah,
Gamecocks.
Okay.
SEC.
I thought he was.
the
I don't know
SEC.
why I thought they was ACC. But either way, they shouldn't be in there. They ain't
He
like they doing
left
that.
the Big Ten to go to the SEC. He
You mean
probably
the
is
Big
like, we
12?
Big 12, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Big 12. He's
yeah.
see, that's how relevant they are, CC, like
Stop
the
it,
Big 12. But
CC,
so
CC.
we're not gonna get into this
You
conversation
know he
because
out of California.
this
What's
would
out
take
there
up the
at
whole
the
show
Pac-12? You
because
don't do it. Don't you do it.
he
Don't
believes
you do it. Don't
thank
you
you.
do it.
Thank you, Lestadi.
Don't
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
do it. He's out there in the Pac-12. Which more is more relevant, CC? The Pac-12 or the Big 12? I'll wait.
Oh yeah, I got to go Big 12 on that one.
Thank you,
You know.
It
thank you,
you both
thank you,
both you
thank you.
guys will be made a believer when the pack when
This dude is so
USC
happy.
when
CC, he
USC
is so happy
is
that
holding
Lincoln
that
Riley
trophy
is
at the end
out
of
there
the
at
year.
USC right now. He is so ecstatic, bro. He can't wait for the
Yeah,
season to start.
I
He
can't.
you
You're
actually
cannot.
so right.
He cannot wait
believe
for the
that
season.
too, right? USC.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
You believe
he
that?
do. He truly believe that. He think USC is not good for anything. But man, when the last time they won a national championship? Don't
They
worry,
had
I'll wait.
they haven't what was this the year before they lost to Texas,
Texas,
which
right?
was yeah, that was our
Yeah,
dynasty year.
Mm, mm. They don't
yeah.
produce
Pete
nothing.
Carroll. Since Pete Carroll left y'all hanging and went
Pete
to the
Carroll,
pros.
yep. Yeah. Since Pete Carroll left, yep. Pete Carroll,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, he left that
Y'all
following
wait.
year.
Oh, matter of fact, Trey, I'm glad you said that though. Since we're on the subject. CC, check this out. This came out today. Let's
It's
see
okay.
USC. Let's see
That's okay.
USC. Let's see USC.
USC isn't in the top 10.
USC. Ooh, hold on. Not USC ain't in the top 10. Who is in and Pac-12 is in the top 10? Let's see. Hold on. It's coming back through again. It's scrolling. It's on the ticker. Let's see out of the Pac-12 who's in the top 10. Hold on. Let's see. I'll wait.
It's okay.
See, you see somebody in there from the Pac-12 in
So
that?
let's not
Oh
act
no.
like
Oh,
let's
okay.
not. And he
Not
just
at
falling
all.
right on in. He only falling right on in too. So
I'm just wondering.
let's not act like USC does not get USC, let alone the Pac-12, gets disrespected. We're not going to act like USC. We're
How
not
did
going
y'all
to
get
act like
disrespected, Trey? How?
we're not going
How
to
did
act.
y'all get disrespected?
We're not going to act like that. Additionally, when we got levied, sanctions was levied against us. We're not gonna act like USC they can almost get the death penalty without getting the death penalty, and no one else act like no one else did anything wrong in the NCAA, but USC goes and does something, and then it's like we get smacked. We
Whoa.
got smacked and walloped. Like there was nothing.
Stop
Like let's not act like that. So now we're out of those dark days, and now unlike someone like SMU, we are
Right.
reemerging, and we're gonna
Oh,
handle
but
business.
but look, USC. It remains to be seen if they're going to be dominant again or relevant again, even in the dominance. Make the top 10 first, and then we'll talk.
it. That part, CC. That part. That part, CC.
You know.
So,
That
but yeah,
part.
so that was what I'm saying. So you know what? It's going to be a full year of us to talk college when it comes
Oh
down,
man, you
and
have no
I
idea.
cannot wait when when Oklahoma is on the opposite end,
That part, Anthony. That
dropping
part.
towards the back of the back, dropping out the top 25 and going from there. But but
Stop it,
additionally, also
Freddie.
I asked y'all this question, right? Additionally, last night, of course, in the MLB, Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers were playing, and Clayton Kershaw, in the middle of a perfect game, got pulled in the 7th inning, and his backup, of course, never in the history of baseball has two pitchers been able to complete the perfect game, and of course, in grand fashion, it is still a record that has not be a feat that has not been reached yet. Gentlemen, as a pitcher, let's go there first. As a pitcher, are you with being pulled in the middle of your perfect game? In the middle of your perfect game candidacy, and not to mention he has never won a perfect game. Are y'all? What
10,
y'all? What's
10, 10 years ago, I would have said,
leave him
no,
in?
don't pull the pitcher, leave them in. But man, the way they crack like glass today, the way things break on them and they break down, it's like you got to look at the overall picture. Hasn't he been hurt a while? He's just coming back, getting back into that shape. And I think. But I know from a pitcher, he probably was like, "Hey, let me pitch." But as a manager, you have to do what you have to do to protect your players, sometimes even from themselves.
That's a good. I wouldn't have thought of looking at it that way, CC. At me though, I'm gonna put myself in. I'm gonna put myself in the position of the pitcher. If I'm that close, bro, to pitching a perfect game, I don't know if I
We
would
talking about
probably be highly
six
upset.
outs. He's 6 outs
Yeah,
away.
I would probably be highly upset because that's a huge feat. Everybody can't do that, man. Everybody can't pitch a perfect game. And yeah, you about to rob me of that. Not saying I would have done it, but I have the possibility. That's like somebody calling a timeout. Um, that's like somebody calling a timeout on your team as you shooting a 3-pointer to break the 3-point record for most threes in the game. Like
Oh
you're
yeah,
gonna be highly upset, bro. And then it goes in as you're shooting it, it goes in. You're gonna be highly upset, and that's how I feel. I mean, but I totally understand where CC's coming from as a coach. I guess I would have to look at it totally different. The thing of the matter is, when it comes to stuff like that, and I still stand by what I said, but also at the same token, I have to look at it as a coaching perspective. It's a long season. We know baseball play more games than any other sport
right.
out there. You know what I'm saying? We know baseball is a long, long season. So I mean, did the coaches even say why he actually did that?
I think it was preservation. I when he started speaking about it, I had left out and I didn't read back up on it because I got caught up
Okay.
in looking at other stuff. But I presume that that's what he was trying to preserve. I mean, like you said, it's a long season. He might have started to look a little fatigued, but I mean, he was cooking. You got
Right, right, right.
13 strikeouts. Like he's in his
Yeah,
bag at this point. Like 6 outs. We're talking about 6 outs, and there's a break in between the 6 outs. Like let him cook, let him get it. But it didn't happen.
no.
And his relief gave it up, gave up
Yeah,
the perfect game.
right. And
And like
yeah, so
and like you said, we're talking about Clayton Kershaw, like he's a Hall of Famer at the end of the day.
Right.
But he doesn't have a perfect game to his resume, and that was the closest he has been. And they took it from him.
yeah, yeah, that's hard. That For me, man, I'm gonna be honest. That's a hard pill to swallow, bro. Especially as a pitcher. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
for the
hard pill to
pitcher.
swallow. Yeah, that's a hard. Robbed him of greatness, major athlete. Yeah,
And you know what? Yesterday,
that's
of
a
course,
hard
was
pill to swallow.
Leo's birthday. So just because it was Leo's birthday yesterday, we'll
But
give we'll let him rock with the saying them LSU
don't let
Tigers.
him do that. Here he comes again.
LSU, okay.
Go Tigers, man. Don't
Okay,
start that, Leo.
LSU.
Don't come in with, yeah, don't do that.
But
All
yeah,
right,
so of course,
LSU.
yeah.
Y'all in the slump, Leo. Y'all in the slump, bro. Y'all in the slump.
And you think about it, just like that, if LSU win that national championship because of the transfer for portal?
Pretty much.
Of who?
Joe Burrow, he transferred from Ohio State to go to LSU, and that year they won
Yeah,
the championship. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. He came from his home state of Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um,
really?
He wasn't getting the
And
matter of
that's
fact.
why he's so happy to be in Cincinnati.
Who that
Got it.
appreciate. So yeah, that's what ended up happening. He basically transferred. He was behind Dwayne Haskins, was he not?
Yeah,
yeah,
must
it was
had to be.
Haskins.
Yeah, had to be.
Haskins, and then didn't Fields take over after
Oh,
Haskins or
Justin.
something, right?
Yeah,
Fields
yeah,
came somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
Justin Fields came after Haskins,
yeah.
and Fields won the starting position over.
Mm-hmm.
And then then you just go figure. Look, then yeah, he goes to LSU and wins the national championship. Slump undefeated
Yeah.
mission. Man, y'all still. Hey, since Joey gone, man, y'all looking like hot garbage right now. Tigers, but I love a tiger, man. I love a tiger. I do. I love a tiger.
You're the Tiger, baby. You're the
Yeah,
Tiger.
yeah. Let's go. You're the tiger. I love it, but y'all not finna do none of this shit. Don't get excited. Don't get excited.
Yeah, that's how you
Yeah, and and what is it, Japanese or what is it, Korean, Japanese,
Chinese.
Chinese? That's it,
Chinese, yeah.
know.
So of course, like we said, getting back to what these guys was talking about before when we was just getting on earlier. Last night, of course, the Charlotte Hornets faced off against the
Mm,
Atlanta Falcons. Correction, Atlanta
mm,
Hawks in what was the first of the elimination games for the play-in, in which all three of us chose a team. Two of the three of us
mm-hmm. Which one?
was
Hey, y'all remember?
incorrect.
See, you remember that show? I think it was what was that show? Not Mickey Mouse Club, Sesame Street. Remember Sesame Street, and they used to say one of these kids is doing their own thing. One of these kids are not the same.
Two of these kids is doing their own thing. Now it's time to play our game.
We know somebody up here on this panel is not the same, bro. I'm just saying.
Oh
But go
yeah,
ahead, Trey, you
somebody
get it,
not
bro.
the same.
Yeah, my bad, Trey. My bad. Go ahead. My fault, sir. My fault.
So of course, like you
Here
said,
come the pages.
so of course, as we stated, and on the court as well, one of those teams is not doing the same in the third quarter. In the third quarter, the Atlanta Hawks were able to outscore the Charlotte Hornets 42-24, which led to like you say, kicking the doors. In the words of Biggie, waving the fofo. All you heard was Trey, don't hit me no more.
Right.
As Trey Young finished 24 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists, 22 points from DeAndre Hunter, who was really the hot man. They act like he was on the floor as a ghost, like 6-man type stuff, and just knock it down. 22.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists from Denali Gallinari. 13 points, respectively, apiece from Bogdan Bogdanovic and Huerter. As like you said, Atlanta Hawks knocked off the Hornets. Their leading scorer, of course, Lonzo Ball's 26 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists from Terry Rozier, 17 points from PJ Washington, 12 from Miles Bridges, but it just wasn't enough. Gentlemen, as y'all watched the game and y'all watched the output in the third quarter, did you be like, was it like, okay, I can rest easy now because I mean they won by, they won by 29 in the elimination game. Like you could have tripped or anything like that, or you could have did like Miles Bridges and we get to later on and just be like, yo, we ain't finna win this game. I'm finna exit. I'm finna get out this game and going about it way. So what y'all think about the game?
CC.
For me, it was the shooting of the Charlotte Hornets, man. The poor shots and then turning the ball over in that game. I think Lonzo was like 7 for 25, man. I mean, not Lonzo, excuse me. LaMelo was 7 for 25, and then you see what's his name? Rozier was like 8 for 22. The shooting was just awful. They take untimely shots. I think every team when they start getting down a little bit, all of a sudden they want to shoot these outrageous 3-pointers and stuff like that, man. When it's like Atlanta was not really guarding the basket all that strong early in the game. So I think you could have took it to the cup a little bit more. That's because that's what Atlanta did on the other end. Once they realized that, hey, nobody's going to try to block a shot here, I'm just going to keep throwing this alley oop up there. I'm just going to keep throwing it at the rim, letting Capella had like, over 15 rebounds last night. Quite a few on the
17.
offensive end when he was just that better, that monster on the glass. When you get that many second chance shots and then they turn the ball over on top of it, you're going to lose.
Yeah, for me, man, as you can see, I put a young Hawks watch the Hornets, man. Even Trey didn't even have like a standout game like he normally has. He contributed way up many other ways. He had the 11 assists, the huge, alley oops to Capella and stuff like that. Trey said, because Trey wasn't hitting on all. I think he was 1 for 7 at one point.
Yeah, he struggled. He was having
he
a
was
good
struggling
game.
shooting the ball. He was struggling shooting the ball. And then he tried to find a little bit of a rhythm later on in like the third, but he contributed so many other ways and defensively as well as assists. And they just ran away with this game, man. You watched that game, you just knew that the Hornets just had no answer for the Hawks at all, whatsoever. And the Hawks made sure that they got them off the court and did took care of business. And as Leo said that they had that 2K mentality, baby. Yeah, that 2K mentality.
Yeah.
So of course, with that,
Hey, Ray, real quick,
yes.
who'd you pick?
Of course, with that, the Atlanta Hawks move
Oh,
on
okay.
to play in the elimination game. As the other game in the NBA last night, the San Antonio Spurs travel over to that boot baby to take on the New Orleans Pelicans in the play-in series. Of course, it didn't go as planned for Pop, as he might have coached his last NBA game. He doesn't want to talk about the future yet. Pop is the oldest coach in the NBA at 75 years of age, 26 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. That game, of course, their leading scorer, Devin Vassell, 23 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, as their key player, DeJounte Murray, was in early foul trouble, in which kept him off the court. He ended up 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists to finish the game. Yeka Patel, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. Richardson with 12 points, and also Lonnie Walker third, 12 points. Of course, his was not enough as the Pelicans ran amok last night. Of course, as we stated and as we all knew, CJ McCollum, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from Brandon Ingram. Of course, with probably the dunk of the night. 12 points from Herb Jones as he did all the dirty work, those tangibles in which no one sees, or his defensive prowess. 12 points from Jose Alvarado. But I think what the key factor was, Jonas Valanciunas was killing their front court. I mean,
Was he?
it was 22 points,
Was
14
he?
rebounds, 3 assists. He was
Mopping.
187, mopping them. No matter who they put in, Potel, Collins, it was
Didn't
just
matter.
they couldn't handle him, and he was causing problems. At one point, he went on like 10 straight points, in which they just kept feeding him and feeding him
Feed
and
me,
feeding him.
Seymour. Yep.
It was, you know what I'm saying? So he, you know what I'm saying? I think he's an underrated player. People, Valanciunas,
Who?
Valanciunas,
Valanciunas? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think he's an underrated big man, in which he doesn't get all the accolades and stuff like that for certain things.
Mm.
Of course, we're going to be a
He's
difference
underrated.
when he plays the next level. But of course, like I said, CJ Cullum and them gets the. Uh, well, I'll save this question for later. Gentlemen, what do y'all think about the game last night? The New Orleans game, New
I
Orleans
think
San Antonio.
I think myself and CC, man, we tried to explain to you. I mean, you did pick right at least in that game. But me and CC, if I'm not mistaken, we said CJ was gonna come out here and become a donk. We knew CJ was gonna do his thing, and he truly came out there and did it. He had more points at
Mm-hmm.
one point in the game than the whole
27 to
and
25, 29 to 27 or something like 25
yes, 29 to 27. He had
at
more points
halftime.
than the
Halftime scores.
entire Spurs team, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, CJ is that dude. Like people don't know, CJ is the humble assassin. Cause you don't hear much from CJ. CJ good out there. He's like the Kawhi Jr., Kawhi Leonard Jr. He's humble. You don't hear much from him. He go out there, he play ball, he go on. And CJ did his thing. CC?
Yeah, I think like what Bishop just said, we did tell you yesterday that it'll be all about CJ McCollum. I like Brandon Ingram; he stepped up,
He did
and
too.
that Valanciunas, man, like man, I don't know, it reminded me of like what he did. Reminded me of what San Antonio used to do to teams with the Tim Duncan and stuff like that, man.
Mm. But the Tim
Played
Duncans and
fundamentally.
the Admiral, yep.
Yeah, he was so fundamentally sound on those guys, man. I mean, it was the fundamentals for me. Like I knew he was pretty good, from his time. I think he played in Toronto. He was pretty good, but I think last night showed that he can ball with I'm not going to say the elite players, but I'm going to say with the best of the best out there as far as a big man playing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they stay with that mentality, they might sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So of course, with that, with the wins last night and the nights before, tonight we have Atlanta
Hold
will
on, Trey. Let
travel.
me ask y'all this though,
Yes,
real
yes,
quick.
yes.
Do you feel Zion is ready to play? No.
So, in which that was one of the topics which I had up next. I think, in which I was going to ask, do you think Zion is going to actually get back and be in the playoffs and get into the series? Uh,
I
and
want to know why CC feel like he ain't ready. You out here doing 360 dunks and during warm-ups?
I just think
360
that
dunks during warm-ups.
yeah, but remember, man, old karate film with Bruce Lee, man. He said, dude hit the board and broke the board and said, boards don't hit back.
Boards don't hit back. Yep. I remember
Boards don't hit back. It's like he's out there with nobody playing, man. It's just him
But
out
aren't
there.
we
It's
looking
not
at the strength of his legs and stuff like that? I get what you're saying, CC, in regards to anybody can dunk the ball with no one in the paint, stuff like that. I get it, but we're looking at his physicality right now being at exactly that point. Like with his physicality being able to do that, and you're sitting on the sideline, like at least I feel like, in my opinion, CC, let's try and work him back in and see. You know what I'm saying? Let him
but
give.
how
You
many
ain't got to give him big minutes, but give him a couple of minutes here and there just to see
that's what I'm saying.
if
But
if his foot.
how many minutes to be productive?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
So I think it would be seen as something sort of like, let's take Tiger Woods for instance, like
Mm-hmm.
during the Masters, he started
Mm-hmm.
out, he did enough to get him into the game, into the next
Mm-hmm.
round to make the first cut. But of course, you see what happened after the first cut. He went from shooting a 1 under par to shooting 13 over par. So so I think in the series, the Gruden series, a 7 game series, or however, whether they go 7 games, a gentleman sweep, a sweep, or however, whichever way it plays out, I think that is what you have to look at. And I wonder if he's going to be able to hold that, like you said, a 1 game, you know what I'm saying, or if he goes down a couple we know he's going to be minute restricted, because you have to take into
Right.
consideration his conditioning for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
He's been away for almost 2 years, almost, or maybe a little, I mean, a little less than that. So his conditioning comes into play. Like the game, like y'all was just saying, nothing could account for game speed. You could be on a treadmill all day. You could be in 5-on-5 all days until you get into that game and you up and down that court and you bang it against somebody that has everything to lose at this point. As far as
Exactly.
their as far as it goes, I think it's going to make a difference. So I think that would be the question in which which you're asking, and I don't think he's ready for that necessarily. Of course, he's a professional and you expect certain things of
Paid as a
professionals.
professional.
Yeah, so you expect like, bro, you got to get ready. You should be doing everything in your power within your parameters to be ready. So if we tap you on your shoulder and you say you ready to go, you can go. And I would think, and it came up like CC was just talking about with the Valanciunas. Do they become a more potent team with a Zion Williamson or even a 70% Zion?
Good
Does that in
question.
the CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, Zion,
I think
Hayes,
they
like
do. Right. They become. I feel like they become a better team, Trey. But not only that, I mean, I'm sure both of y'all are athletes. I played with you before, Trey, on the field and stuff like that on the court. Um, and I know, excuse me, I can only speak of myself in this regard, though. But I'm hoping y'all can relate. When it comes down to it, I know me when I played football or basketball, any sport in which I played, and I was injured and I couldn't, or yeah, and I was unable to, participate in the sport at the time, but I was still there. It was hard to keep me on the sidelines. It was very hard to keep me on the sideline. So me as a player, I would think Zion as a player who's getting paid to play this game would be one of the first people would be like, man, look, let me, work me in, coach, work me in. I feel, and this is not just even just to the Zion, this is to Ben as well. Like, if you feel like you're ready, and don't get me wrong, I know coaches has a huge say so when a player comes back from an injury. Get that, but at the same token, man, if me, I would be all in the coach's ear. Look, coach, man, you seen what I'm doing in warm ups. I understand I'm time limited, but can I get that time limited time, chance? You know what I'm saying? That's just me. The hunger for the game, the you know the want to be out there with your teammates, the fact that you're all in the playing and trying to get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That part would ignite me as a player to want to get out there and play the game. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I don't know what y'all think, CC Trey.
But I'm going to ask this question: do y'all think that what Zion has shown that he can just come and be acclimated into the team after not playing with them and not mess up the team chemistry and all that stuff right now? I mean, I'm gonna still a line from Steve Kerr right now and say I want to see him scrimmage first. You know what I'm saying? Like running full practices with his team, like those
Right.
are the things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
Right. But as a coach, though, CC, I'm gonna ask you this: as a coach, CC, you see Zion doing that at warm up. You're the coach for the Pelicans. You see Zion doing what he's doing during warm ups. This ain't the first time you've seen it. This is like second, maybe the third time. We know of two times because it's been shown on TV. But I don't.
oh yeah.
Who's to say how many times he's done it while he's been warming up or at practice or whatever? How do you feel as a coach seeing one of your so-called star players being able to do that? Again, I understand what you were saying earlier, CC, about ain't no players on the court, but as a coach, how do you feel about seeing that your star player being able to do that during warmups?
I mean, but as a coach, you have to look at it the same way you would look at every player, right? Like, man, what is the conditioning like? I mean, I get it, you warming up and stuff, but man, you got to figure, you running 94 feet consistently. How's that feel the first time someone accidentally steps on it? Things like that. You have to take all that stuff into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
That it could be some accidental contact out there to that foot, man. So a few dunks here and there in a slow, like in a warm up, is not going to tell you what you're going to get. I mean, right now, the next game is against the Clippers to get in this play in, correct? I mean, to get in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs, correct? Would you trust that? Would you put him in right now as the coach? Bishop, if you were the coach right now, if you were Willie Green right now, would you say Zion, let's go?
To be honest, CC, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would do like you said in regards to what Steve Nash said. How let me see how he's doing in practice. If he's doing, if he can get me a substantial amount of time in practice where I can see he's not extremely fatigued, I can see he can get up and down the court, then yeah, I would play him a bit of limited time. Yes, I would. I would put him on the court because again, this is my issue. Why don't we see this? And maybe y'all can correct me, Trey or CC, but why don't we see what we see in football? In football, and when I'm talking about it, then with football, we see a lot of coaches, or we hear about a lot of coaches. Let me put that in air parentheses. We hear about a lot of coaches looking at players to continue to play through injuries. You know, we heard that with AB. We heard that with a few other players. I think Baker Mayfield, a few other players that the coaches want these players to play through injuries in the NFL. However, we don't hear that as much of coaches wanting players to play through injuries in in the NBA. So me, like Trey loves to say, you getting paid all this money to sit on my bench, but you out here doing 360 dunks doing warm up, bro. You can give me a minute or two a game, bro. You can give me a minute or two, bro. In my opinion, that's
I
just
mean,
me
I
though.
get it. As
That's just me though.
I mean, as a fan, you want to see what the so-called best products that you have to offer have,
Mhm.
but it is a business also, and you have to
Right.
look at it like nowadays. Basketball more so shows you that the individuals are more into their brand building and long trying to last as long or preserve themselves for whatever reason. Uh, I think that's where I stray with the opinions of the players and even the coaches nowadays. Whereas, like, I agree with you. Like, I love the NFL because of that, because these guys have to go get it, but they don't have as much guaranteed money as these NBA contracts as well. You have to keep that in mind.
Mhm.
So like a lot of the NFL contracts are incentive laden, so they have to go out there and play. If you want to you want to reach certain milestones and stuff, you have to play. Whereas, like in the NBA, it's becoming a culture where, oh, we're waiting for this, we're waiting for that, we want to see what they have. But then it's like I think they all take it for granted that these players are going to be around a long time and that injuries won't happen at any time sometimes, because it's more about the brand. No doubt they're trying to keep Zion ready to fill seats next season and the seasons after that, right?
Right.
So
Right.
sacrificing him for a play in right now probably wouldn't be their best move.
Mm. And as long, so you looking at it as long term, and I totally get it. I completely understand where you're coming from. Applewhite, to answer your question, who do you want, Zion or Ben Simmons? Because wow, they both have big disappointments. Me personally, I'm gonna be honest. Even though I'm a Nets fan, I feel like I'm taking Zion over Ben, and this is why. When it comes to mental health issues, that's a whole different animal. And if a
Right.
person isn't mentally uh, ready to play the game, it's way more difficult for them to come back than a person with an injury. Now we do know Ben has back injuries as well, back spasms, having back issues. Um, but I think his biggest issue is his mental health. So for me, I would go with Zion because it's a physical thing more than it's an injury, a physical injury compared to a mental injury. I guess you would call it. But
Indeed,
someone
indeed.
who agrees with you, CC.
So I
Oh yeah.
and which in all y'all both bring up good points in which it's just, and it comes down to what Cornelius has said is over, you have to look as a coach, GM, or whatever case like that, or the organization has to look at it like long term. What are we trying to do? If we're trying to win now, if we're trying to sell tickets and stuff like that, putting him in during the playoff series is going to be great. If you're looking at long term, then you continue to let him sit, and if he's able to come back during the series and you insert him, it's going to be the same thing, in which, unless the series already lost, and of course there's no use in wasting time, let him go ahead on. So it's all
But I
subjective
think
at
that's
the
the
point.
thing, though, Trey. The fact of the matter that the Pelicans are still in it, That's why I feel like you have to somewhat take a little bit of an opportunity to allow him to come in and play. If they weren't in it or anything, or it was still in the season, I'd be like, nah, or they wasn't going, they wasn't in the playoff, or we knew they wasn't going to make it into the playoffs. Yeah, no,
Which
wait till
and
they,
I think that's what this is when you look at it, because technically they still have one more game to play,
right,
as we know that saying they get ready to play. They face off Cleveland.
Clippers.
Yeah, the Cleveland, Atlanta, Cleveland will play host to the Atlanta Hawks coming in to play them, and then of course the Los Angeles Clippers play host to uh the aforementioned New Orleans Pelicans. So in this case, it's like, is it worth that one game? Do a
But okay,
to
but Trey,
play
but
him?
say if you say, and this is for you and CC, say the Pelicans do win,
Hmm.
they get deep into the playoffs. Do you still allow them to sit? Say they get past the first.
No,
Say they
I
get
mean,
past
yeah,
the
if
Clippers.
he's
Say they
able,
get,
if it's
get
if
past
it
the first round.
if they yeah, if they get past, if Pelicans are to win tonight and they end up playing and go to a first round versus the Phoenix Suns, if there's an inkling to get him some minutes, then I'm for playing him to some minutes, restricted minutes. Like we talking about 15, 20 minutes to see where he's at and see how he's doing. Uh, and then if it's not working, then we're not playing them. But like you said, it makes a difference, because when you're talking about, and Cornelius pointed it out, uh, where he talked about the salaries and the difference in the guaranteed and the not guaranteed, but also not to mention in the with the NBA or the a player NBA player or a NFL player, there's a week, so there's recovery time for those players before their next game. As the NBA, your next game might be tomorrow. You in a 7-day week, you might have 3 or 4 games. As opposed to, you already know, within a 10-day week, is only a possibility you can have a 10 within a 10-day week. The possibility you might only have 2 games in the NFL, and that's only 2 games, 2 teams that for the most part that's going to face that at a time. So it's a huge recovery. It's a huge opportunity for them to recover, as well as the technology and all the things that are out there that could help you with the recovery. So that makes a difference as well.
But hold on, Trey, real quick. You and CC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we got to move on from this, but let me ask y'all this, right? So when if you're the general manager
Mm-hmm.
or the coach or the owner of the Pelicans, and we're in this current season where the Pelicans are about to face the Clippers to get into the playoffs, are we more concerned about now in winning, or are we more concerned about the future of the Pelicans? And
Future.
I say this to say one thing, right? Because as an owner, coach, and player, you have no idea what your team will be like next year. With the team, you know what you have right now on the court. Next year, have no idea what you're going to have when it comes to the offseason. So, do you play to win now, or do you sit and let things just play out and see where it goes in the future with hopes of an upside?
I'm with the future.
Okay.
I'm with the future because right now, I mean, how far do you? I mean, let's be realistic. How far do you think you're gonna go winning like 34 games or something? Like that low below 500 for real, for real. Like you have a slight chance there because anything can happen. But realistically, like where are you really gonna go? Like even if you beat the Clippers, what's the likelihood that no matter what lineup you put out there,
It will be
you're gonna beat
Phoenix.
the Suns? I mean, what are is anybody going to take the Pelicans over the Suns? I mean, I have to play for the future in that respect. Like, you're not going to
But
go far.
it's crazy you say that though, CC. But even last night, I think it was um Barkley and all them was like, man, don't sleep on the Pelicans. There are a lot, like there are some analysts that feel like the Pelicans and CJ and Ingram, they feel like they are a team that could be a force to be reckoned with. And this is without Zion. So imagine what this we're talking about, a team who hasn't faced the Phoenix Suns with with their key players. We're talking about now where if you add Zion to the fold, I get it, he's a limited time, we get it. But if you add Zion to the fold, excuse me, against a Phoenix Sun team, it could be a difference maker in that whole series. Because now Phoenix is not playing a team that they played with Zion on the floor. Now they're playing a whole other team when you add Zion to the mix. There's a whole different dynamic now when it comes to now trying to strategize versus Pelicans when you was now mainly focused on Ingram and CJ, but now you've added Zion back to the lineup. Oh, now we got to focus on CJ Ingram and Zion and Valanciunas. So I'm just that's just me, man. That's just me. But I know we got to move on.
So, of course, getting on to tonight's topic, as we said, tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be hosting the Atlanta Hawks in their loser.
That's tonight or tomorrow?
That's tomorrow, right?
That's tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Both those games tomorrow. Ain't no games tonight.
So they will be hosting that series. Gentlemen, who y'all rocking with? Do y'all think it's Atlanta continues to go on? Is the Cleveland go ahead and knock them off and send them home packing?
No, Trey, we're going to let you pick first. You pick first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you need to pick first.
Clearly, I do not pick what y'all pick, so it doesn't make a difference if you are or if you aren't picking. But in this one, I am definitely going to go with Cleveland. I think Cleveland makes it happen.
Cleveland?
You won't learn, CC. Go ahead, C.
Trey, I just got to ask, what's your reasoning behind that?
So this is what I think. Right? We just had a situation in which Cleveland fell behind with Brooklyn against Brooklyn. Let's keep it real. Brooklyn has more firepower than Atlanta does. So in that case, Brooklyn was more of a test for Cleveland. So I got some time to take a look and see. I just think that Atlanta is not going to have enough to. I don't think Atlanta is going to have an opportunity to do what they did to Charlotte. At the end of the day, I don't foresee it.
I'm going with Atlanta. I'm just going to put that out there. I think Atlanta. Man, did you see the ball movement? Did you see? I'm just saying. Did you see? They got on a roll. I think that if you come and play like that, like where you get on this roll where everybody's in sync, the rhythm of the team, man, that ball movement was crisp. It was hard for defenders to keep up. And what I saw from Cleveland the other night, like they have problems. They have problems stopping you. Like they have problems staying in front of people. So that's going to be a problem. And then don't let Trey get hot. Remember, Trae Young was not even hot. So
that part,
he's bound to have a game where he's hot.
That part. I gotta agree with CC, man. I'm going with Ice Trae and that boom soon. I gotta go with Trae, man. Like CC said, man. The Hawks won convincingly last night against the Hornets, and like you say, Trae didn't even go off. Yeah, he was leading scorer, but he didn't go off. We know what Trae can do. And he didn't go off. He had a mediocre night. So just imagine, it's coming. Like CC said, it's coming. And Cavaliers,
it's coming next year, maybe.
No. The Cavaliers about to be witness to it. Cavaliers are about to be a witness to Ice Trae getting straight icy on them on their own court. I am picking the Atlanta Hawks.
Darius Garland is going to be a problem for Trae Young tomorrow.
Okay. We gonna see it. The only time we'll tell.
Okay. So Trae. Okay.
No, go ahead, CC.
Well, because I was okay, Trey. So for you, Anthony, both right there. For you and Mr. Price, both right there. As far as like saying that the matchup would be different, and you said that Darius Garland is going to do Trey, which is that would be no surprise. We know Trey has his liabilities on the defensive end, basically because of height and size, right? So that's not
Right.
going to be a big deal. But who else you got? I mean, I'm looking at Gallinari. I'm looking at what's his name, Bogdanovich. Man, those
Bogdanovich
guys
is
can
going to be a
shoot.
problem. Bogdanovich is going to
Those
be a
guys can
problem.
shoot.
Gallinari will show up here and there. You still got Huerter, you got and then you got Hunter. But they're without Collins. They're without Lou Will. I think they have liabilities. When you look at Cleveland, you got potentially the rookie of the year, Evan Mobley. You have
Mobley. Yeah.
you still have Mark Cannon. You said who could be a problem if he so you that for the most part he's better than Gallinari in my opinion. So then you still have what's his name Kevin Love. He still calls it gets his
Stop it.
buckets.
You could have stopped. You could have stopped there. You could have stopped there.
He still gets his.
Don't break Kevin old. Don't break Kevin up in there, man. Leave Kevin where
Kevin Love
he
still get his buckets, so it's going to be
It's
they
the
have
same Kevin
people.
Love that allowed
You got
LeBron to dunk all in his face.
you
It's the
still
same
got
Kevin that did.
you still got Karis LeVert. Like
I give
they
you
have
Karras. I give us
issues.
Karras.
They have issues. They got problems on
But
their
he's
sideline
streaky.
too.
Karras LeVert is streaky. He's streaky.
So
He's
I just
streaky.
think
So
that
yeah.
Atlanta. I think Atlanta is more of a team in which that everyone's hoping if they catch fire, they continue. They're going to play. If they're on the streak, they're going to play. I don't think you need that. Cleveland, for the most part, was a dominant team throughout the first portion of the season until, of course, Mobley went down. Garland went down for a second, but Cleveland has been. They was a dominant team for a while until they lost those players, and that's not by chance. So I just think they were better than Atlanta, who is let's playing. Let's keep it real, playing out of an eight. If this was the old format, we wouldn't even be talking about them.
Right.
I mean, right.
Which AP right after Richard Applewhite is talking about. You saying if these teams were not good enough to make the playoffs, why we having this playing today? Because that's something they decided a few years back. That
Yeah,
they,
it's entertainment. It's the
right,
entertainment aspect. Yeah.
right. It's almost like they kind of stole something from
Right.
the NCAA tournament in a way. You know what I'm saying? To have a playing tournament to get you to the playoffs. So they pretty much
I mean,
piggyback off the NCAA. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I still feel like the Hawks are still gonna come out on top, man. Clinton Capella, like these boys, they hitting on all cylinders. I think they're gonna come out victorious tomorrow versus the Cavs.
I think it's just going to boil down. For me, it's Nate McMillan, man. That team
Mhm.
seems to take on his character. They scrappy. They come out and play. I think he'll have them ready. I mean, I think he knows that they had a disappointing season, so I'm sure he's already in their ear that hey, we can't go from Eastern Conference Finals to this right here. So I'm pretty sure he gonna have the Hawks ready, man. You know.
I agree. I totally agree.
So, of course, the other game, the Los Angeles Clippers playing host to the New Orleans Pelicans, a hot streak in New Orleans Pelicans. Gentlemen, Clippers, Pelicans, who y'all got?
We know you taking the Clippers because the LA
I'm
team.
taking the Clippers. The hell you say?
Um, I thought I thought you was Cali everything, bro.
No.
Um,
You know
um,
I do not get down with the ops.
this is a hard one, man. To be honest, for me, because the way PG3 be playing, man, yeah, man, PG13. I'm sorry, PG13. Man, oh George, like I said, he almost got him to get that win the other night. He really did alone, and they playing in LA. But CJ is a problem. CJ is a problem. That's hard for me to pick two road teams to win though. God,
Um,
go
I'm
ahead,
going to
CC.
buck trend. I'm a buck trend here with Bishop, and I'm going with the Clippers. I'm going with the Clippers, and I'm taking the Clippers because of who else they have, the veteran experience over there. As far as the players, a lot of young players for the Pelicans, which plays in their favor as far as probably getting up and down the court. But I think the Clippers, and they're long, that defense. I think you won't be able to stop CJ McCollum, but you can slow him down with the length. The length of the Clippers is going to play a huge part in that game. I think playing Reggie Jackson at point guard, you still looking at a 6'4", 6'5" guy. You know, like everybody's long. Everybody has long arms. I think that's going to be a problem for the Pelicans in a one game. And then you have to factor in the nerves. I think that the Clippers will be able to maintain their nerves in a game, in the elimination game, better than the Pelicans right now.
So I ask this question, gentlemen. Do you think 2-0 picks is going to overcome a 0-2 pick?
No. Yes, the 2-2-1-0 picks will definitely outweighs a 1-0-2 pick. Yeah.
Well, I haven't had a 1-0-1. I'm just saying because it seems like CC is going to be the first to have a 0-2 pick. So I'm just bringing that. Like he started out with 2-0 the first day, 2-0 yesterday. Now it sounds like it's like an 0-2.
tomorrow. He said
so I just think that it's going to be so. I was just asking that.
So if
asking
that's
the his eye.
that's definitely gonna be because right now me and CC 4-0. To your 2
and I'm
2,
2
but
2 and 2.
Yeah,
I'll be 2-4, 2-2. Yeah, 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah, your 2 and 2. CC 4-0.
See, you know what, CC? This is Bishop always gets in this position, right? Like I, for the most part, always have to simply play catch up to a degree, and so Bishop is always in a position like no matter what happens, I'm either going to win or going to tie. That's what he's always in that position. So when you look at it, if I'm able to go 2-0, then I become 6-2. You become 6-2. If that happens, then that means. Well, no, Bishop would go.
No, how you come 6-2? You become 4-2.
Right.
4-2. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're 4-2. 4-2. You become 4-2. I become 4-2. Bishop becomes he would become 5-1 if that happens. But still, that one ESA. So he always I think he pulled a thing from my book, but the only difference is because I needed the 49ers that won that game. that was the turning point when Tart dropped that damn interception.
He will not let that down, CC. He will not let that down. That interception that could have changed the whole momentum of that game and changed the outcome of that game. He will not. Bishop to go. Thank you, Freddie. I appreciate you. He will not let that down about that interception. I am going to go with the Clippers too, man. I gotta go with the Clippers.
Let's go! Let's go!
I'm going with the Clippers at home, man. I think they can get it. I'm going with the Hawks. I can't go with two road teams to get a win on
let's go.
On this.
I guess we all be 4-2. Let's go.
So yeah, I'm taking the Clippers. So yeah, so Trey is either gonna be 0 for 2 or he's gonna be 2-0. And then me, you
I like them odds. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Clippers. Come on, PG-13. Let's go, baby.
So I asked this question, right? As we know, it's getting closer to the season starting. The playoffs starting. Do you think, because there's two very prominent stars that potentially, although one is back and playing, are potentially going to be out of the first part of their series. Do you think Curry and Doncic's injuries heavily impact their team's playoffs?
CC?
Yes. I mean, how can you not? Especially with, I think more so first round. I think more so Luka than anything. Having to go against the Jazz. You know, the Jazz are tough. Dallas outside of Luka. I mean, he's everything to that team, man. He's the leading scorer. You know, he's up there in rebounds. He's up there in assists. I mean, he's everything for that team. So yeah, Luka's injury is going to be huge for them, right? And as far as Golden State, you know, that's going to be huge. Anytime you don't have Steph Curry in your lineup, man, it's going to affect how you play. Even if he plays, like how much can he give you? Or is he risking more injury And Steph has played, not as many miles as some, but he's, like I think they missed the playoffs a couple of times, but you got to think, they've made some deep playoff runs, and he's been injured quite a few times, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not as young, right? Steph is what, 32, 33, something like that,
Yeah,
30
he's
something.
getting up there.
Like
Yeah,
he's not, he's not that young anymore, so that makes a huge difference for him as well.
yeah, I totally agree with CC, man. Luca is definitely is Dallas Mavericks. He is that team. So him being out of the lineup is more detrimental to the Dallas Mavericks than Curry is, because of the fact, like I said, like CC said, Luca is that team. Whereas Curry, not being on Golden State or not being on the floor, even though they're sitting here, they've said yesterday and today that they're working him in back into practice and stuff like that. So I don't see Steph being out too much longer. I feel like he'll be in sooner than later. He probably won't play his first game. They're looking at him this week to see if he'll play on Saturday. But it is a possibility of him playing against the Nuggets on Saturday. But yeah, like Cece said, how can you not have the best pure shooter probably in NBA history not on the floor and expect your team to win? Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
play in Denver. Um, and Denver is no slouch. But I feel like I feel like the Warriors would probably have a better chance of beating Denver without Steph than Dallas beating the Jazz without Luka.
Okay.
I don't see Dallas being able to get past the Jazz without Luka.
Okay, I got it. So another thing came up. A couple of incidents happened in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And Bishop, this is more and definitely in your wheelhouse as an official. So I would definitely want to hear your take on some of these. So the
Mm-hmm.
first couple of things is, of course, we know Campazzo, the guard for Denver, um, got ejected because he pushed the guard Wayne Ellington in the back because he thought he was fouled during the Lakers Denver game.
Mm-hmm.
Campazzo got suspended for one game, which means he's not going to be available
Playing this weekend.
for the for the playoffs, the first game of the playoffs, as
Oh,
well
it's a
as
playoff or is it just this game this weekend? Playoff too?
because the Nuggets are in the playoffs, so they have to their first game is going to be till Saturday or something like that.
That's what I say. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah.
So just the first game.
Yeah.
Just the one game. So
Okay.
he's out. But then then Wayne Ellington got a $20,000 fine because he told him, he went on Twitter and told him, when I see you, I'm putting my hands on you.
On the ref?
No, on Capazzo.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because remember, he pushed him.
Right. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
He shouldn't
remember
have
what
got
you.
pushed. No one should have got pushed because it was a ticky tack foul. He fell on his
Right.
own,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But then he hit Wayne Ellington when Wayne Ellington wasn't even the person that fouled him, so quote
Right.
unquote. But Ellington
right.
was like, you know what I'm saying? He went to Twitter after the game was over and reached out and said, when I see you, I'm putting my hands on you. So he got fined. The NBA fined him for that. And then of
Mm.
course, additionally, what happened was earlier in the week, Patrick Beverly was ejected from a game for talking to the refs, and he walked back towards the ref, and then you could read his lips talk about you're trash, and all this other type of stuff. He got fined $25,000 for those comments towards the ref. And of course, lastly, last night's game, Miles Bridges was ejected,
Oh yeah.
quick ejection, quick two T's, and then due to that, he was walking out. Of course, emotions ensued. There was a fan that was near the tunnel as he was walking out, was screaming at him, saying something to him. He tried to throw his mouthpiece at him, missed, and hit
Hit the
a
little
young
girl.
lady. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we know there's a fine coming down for that. So I ask you, gentlemen, is all this necessary? Are these fines warranted? And
Absolutely.
Bishop, how do you feel as a see? There go the official talking. Yes, please bring the official Sean Davis to the floor so he can have this
I'm
conversation.
here. I'm here. I totally agree. I totally feel like they're warranted, especially last night. I understand that he said or I understand that he felt like that wasn't a foul. However, it is what it is. He called it as a foul, and as such, you going after him does what? Does what? Get you ejected. So how have you helped your team? You haven't. If anything, you hurt your team. And then by you doing one of the probably the most disgusting and
Yeah, because
probably
basically he's like he spit on him, like you threw your
yeah,
I
mouthpiece
was
at
about
him.
to
you
say that.
basically
Disgusting.
yeah, you done took something that was in your mouth the entire game and threw it at somebody. Mind you, we're on the back end, thank God, of COVID, and you throwing your mouthpiece at people. Yeah, it's more than warranted. Yeah, he should definitely receive a fine. He should definitely be suspended. And yeah, he does. He owes that young lady an apology and whatever else she wants, in my opinion. Absolutely. CC.
I agree with last night. That's yeah, man, that's the sick. That's some sick right there. You gonna throw a mouthpiece at anybody? I mean, it doesn't matter who you were aiming for. Like that was ridiculous. And I agree with you that it should be a suspension going into next season. Their season is over. And then think of the capacity that he did it in. You losing.
Right.
You down by like almost 30 points. The game is over. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, that like if you're frustrated, go ahead and take it up with the ref, but leave the fans out of it.
Yeah.
And as far as you talking the Campazzo situation, it's one of those things where you should be fined because man, in the real world, let's just
Well,
face it,
Capazzo,
those are
Capazzo
assault,
didn't even get
those are
fined.
assault
He
cases.
got a suspension. Why is Ellington
Right.
fined?
But then he's fine because he made a threat. You can't make threats, man. You can't just threaten. You can't just go around threatening people, saying you gonna do this and that. So you got to hold them to the same accord. You got to think in the real world, those things they lead to restraining orders and maybe misdemeanor charges and stuff like that. So a
So I
fine is
think
getting off easy.
I think that situation comes down to one of those things is if it's all for entertainment. Because truth be told, if that's what you was on, you just doing it. Like if that's what you want, I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna wait till I see you. When I see you, I'm smacking you, and that's what it comes out to be. Uh, and so I think that was just all for show. Like okay, like one of those things. Like okay, you got it out with your Twitter fingers, and that's what it was. Because if it was what he was on for real, then it would have just been a situation where he would have waited and seen Capazzo, and he would have stepped and did
True.
what he would have done and gone from there. And then he would have got fined for the altercation as well as maybe some criminal offenses because he's assaulting the guy at the end of the day.
True. True.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that stuff can come down to that type of stuff. Um, Bishop, shout out to Brooklyn. As we all know, there was a
Let's get it.
situation.
Let's
Well,
get it.
Oh,
it's not on the basketball court. I'm not talking
Oh.
on the basketball court.
oh yeah,
I'm
the
talking about
subway
to the
shootings.
yeah, the subway shooting as Brooklyn, the
Oh,
Brooklyn
yeah,
Nets
yeah, yeah.
contributed $50,000 to the victims of the subway shooting. Of course, we know at least 10 were shot, but when you take in consideration other things and the factors, 29 people were injured in during that subway shooting. As a man with a vest with a fluorescent vest and a gas mask uh, let off some shots in the Brooklyn subway, not too far from the training facility, and Brooklyn took it upon themselves to contribute $50,000 to assist those victims. So shout out to them for the
Brooklyn,
gesture.
stand up.
Brooklyn in the building, uh, great. I'm saying a great gesture. Hopefully, it helps out those in need. So I have a question for y'all. This is before we go into the our football segment and talk a little football.
Hold
Uh,
on, what you not gonna do, Trey? Hold
what's
on.
up?
What you not gonna see? This is the blasphemy and the nonsense in which I get with Trey. CC. This is what I gotta deal with on a day to day. This these are things in which I know it's some bias because he when it's about LeBron and them Lakers, it's
That is a good
all this.
question. I'm listening.
When it's about the Lakers and LeBron, it's always he got all these um things about the Lakers. But when it comes to our teams and stuff like that, he don't want to bring up nothing. So here
I
it
said,
comes right here. Yeah, let me send it down. Act like you can see here. Act like you ain't gonna play this. Oh damn! I thought I clicked it. Hold on, here it comes. There.
oh, The possibility that he'd be back in the fourth
Ben
by the
Simmons,
fourth
that's
game.
right, baby. That's right. We still in Brooklyn. We're gonna still stay on Brooklyn. We're gonna talk about the positives, not the negatives over there.
Is that a
About the
positive?
shootings. Not saying it was a positive. I'm just saying. Um, shouts out to those, my sincere
Are y'all
prayers
ready
to
for
go out
that?
to them.
Are y'all ready for
For
that?
Ben, for Ben to
Yes.
come back?
Yeah.
You think we not? You didn't see the game the other night when we almost allowed the Clippers to come back? Come on, bro. We got we need not the Clippers.
The
Was it the
Cavaliers.
Clippers? Cavaliers. That's
Cavaliers.
what I'm saying. Cavaliers. We almost allowed the Cavaliers to come back. Yeah, we could use Ben. We could use Ben. And they talk about he could probably come back, next week. Soon as next week, bro. Let's do it, man. Let's get him on back on the court, bro. If I gotta talk about Zion coming back, I definitely gotta talk about Big Simmons coming back now. Let's go.
So it's a little bit different because they're talking about Ben coming back by the fourth game if they're there in the fourth game.
Yeah. Watch your mouth.
Come on,
Watch
man,
your
y'all
mouth. Say
playing
your teeth.
Boston.
All right, watch your mouth. Say
Well,
your teeth. Watch your mouth. Say your teeth.
Well,
Watch your mouth. Say your teeth. We gonna be there. Well, see, they said Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah, game 2 or game 4. That right now is what Steve is saying. So I'm looking at game 2, Tuesday or Thursday. I'm happy. I would prefer him Tuesday, but if we gotta wait till Thursday, it is. What you say, CT?
I was gonna say you just said it yourself as far as is he gonna be mentally ready to play? I mean, I'm not worried about him from a physical standpoint. I know what he can give you on defense. I know that he can be an extra ball handler and all that stuff. I know all the things he can give you, but is he gonna be mentally prepared to play? I mean, remember this is the playoffs. This is the playoffs where he went out last year. So is this is he ready for this?
For me, I feel like, and I don't know Ben, and I don't know his mental status, but for me, I would think it would be somewhat of a help in regards to his mental, because now once you're on the court, I don't feel like you're mentally thinking about whatever it is that's going on with you mentally. You're more focused on the game, and I feel like that would be more of a help than a hindrance if him. Because me, I don't know, but me, I would think sitting down on the court side, watching the game, feel like you're watching the game, but are you mentally paying attention to what's actually going on in the game, or are you still mentally dealing with what's going on with you in regards to your health? Whereas when you're on the court, you have that. Excuse me, you're on the court. You have to really mentally focus on the game. I would hope he's mentally prepared to get on the court, being that they're suggesting that he possibly could return by Tuesday, game 2, or Thursday, game 4. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the young bro has though. Whenever he does,
Me too.
What he has on there.
Right. Me too. And we need that defensive presence from Ben. We need that. That's what we're lacking when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, is that defensive presence. And that's what he's there for. That's the thing. We don't need Ben for points. We don't need ISO from Ben. We don't need none of that. We just need him defensively. Come in, do what he does defensively, guard the most, point, guard the most, the biggest player on the squad at the time, which would probably either be, it would definitely be Tatum. I'm assuming.
Yep.
It would be Tatum. So, and then let the rest of the team focus on the other aspects. You need to come in and be that Dennis Rodman outside of the rebound part.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
It'll be good.
Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like that, AP? Dennis not going to help Brooklyn anytime, so the chemistry will not be there. I disagree. That you saying that is like saying a Harden and Embiid are not gonna work, and it look like they working just fine. And how's that an insult? How do you feel starting Ben is an insult to anyone? How would that be an insult? And I wouldn't expect, to be honest with you, AP, I wouldn't expect Ben to start. I expect being that he's probably be a little limited because he's just like Zion, like CC said, he hasn't like Trey said, he hasn't played in over a year, almost like 10, 11 months that he hasn't played. So you definitely ain't fit to get him out there and have him starting and playing a full game. He's going to be limited in time. But if he could come in off the bench on a tired Jason Tatum and he's a fresh legs, oh, that'll be a problem, bro. That'll be a problem. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just me. I know, Anthony. I know. When it comes to that boy,
whoa.
well,
That's like on the Cowboys. Whoa.
I know, Anthony. I know. I get it. But yeah, Trey, I just wanted. I could not pass that up, man.
Oh, that's no problem. No problem. So I quick thing, and I want y'all opinion on this. So I came across a meme or a graphic that talked about the all-time best Lakers. Now, who do you think they had on this roster for the? Listen, hear me out. The all-time best Lakers, right?
Oh shoot.
Who do you think they had on this list as the 5 all-time best Lakers?
That's easy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, and to round it out, they probably put LeBron on there.
Okay, CC.
I'm gonna say that I agree with Kareem, Magic, Kobe, but I think Jerry West is somewhere on there, and that's how many is that? 4.
4.
Shaq.
Okay. So you add Jerry West to yours, yeah. That's how LeBron.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, Kareem, Magic, Shaq were on there. Kareem, Magic, Shaq.
What?
That's 3 of them. Kareem, Magic, and Shaq.
Yeah, 3.
Number 4, Will Chamberlain. But
Will didn't do nothing while he was in the Lakers, though.
Not. So the last person which they had, in which I don't know if a millennial did this or not, was LeBron James. Is that disrespectful to Kobe Bryant?
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Without freaking question. You got to be out your rabbit ass mind to leave Kobe off there and put LeBron on there. You have to be, bro. There's no way you put LeBron over Kobe. Are you freaking serious?
LeBron,
right?
Oh, look at Richard. Look at Applewhite. Really? You gonna leave? Yeah. You gonna leave Shaq off?
You left Shaq off?
AP did.
But whoever made that list, whoever made that list,
ignorant.
Yeah, I think it might have been a millennial because I was, we all say,
millennial.
Yeah, they look at everyone has a different people. With some people, if they look at who's the greatest of this, they might sit up and put Kobe. I mean, they might put Kobe over Jordan, or they might put LeBron over Jordan, or something like that. So of course, saying.
Yeah, there's no way that you can put Kobe or you could put LeBron over Kobe. That's blasphemy. There's no way you can do that, bro.
I'm just gonna put it out there. The relevancy of the Lakers has not been the same since Kobe Bryant has exited. Since his days, right? So you have to take that. Like LeBron may sell out the arena, but as far as championship prowess, they not nearly as what they were with Kobe. Kobe went to 7 championships, man.
Right.
He won 5 of them, right?
And not only that, though, TC, Kobe played with the Lakers his entire career.
Yes, his whole career.
His whole career. LeBron has only been there 2-3 seasons. Stop it.
Right.
Really? We talking about all time, like Anthony said. He said all time Lakers.
So I think what they're doing is they taking, just like with Will. I think they're taking consideration him as a player. He ended in L.A. So like you said, Will he didn't start. He didn't start in L.A. He ended in L.A. Hell, even Kareem didn't start in L.A. He ended in L.A.
He started in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both of them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So on to our great, that topic NFL was great for now because I can't wait to college. But so with the NFL, yesterday, of course, during the show, as we saw David Carr, Derek Carr, not David. David's his brother. Derek
Right.
Carr
Got the
secured the
bag.
bag.
Yes,
3 years, 121.5 million extension with the Las Vegas Raiders, which includes a no trade clause in effect. So for the next
you
4
crazy
years,
Anthony Price.
for the next 4 years, Carr is a Raider. Devontae Adams and Carr would be hooking
Feel
up.
you, Freddie.
Uh, uh, is Jackson is still there, isn't he? Isn't Deshaun Jackson still there? I don't know how much of a problem he'll be. So,
I don't know if I don't know if he's still there or not. I don't know if they released him or not.
so gentlemen, what do you think about that, Derek Carr? I'm still out. I'm still out on it because I gotta look like everyone. Y'all talk about the greatness of Derek Carr.
I hold, pause, Trey, pause. No, ain't nobody said greatness there. I said he was a good quarterback. There's a difference between good and great now. There's a difference.
He's not. He's not boat status yet.
No, he ain't boat status. He is not
Okay.
boat. He is not boat status yet. He's not the best of all time. Man. Nope. He's
So
not
is he
boat
worth the
status.
40? Not we. Of course, we all want to talk with people money, but is he worth 40 million? Basically, that's what he is now. He's a $40 million quarterback. Is he for that let's say that. Let's keep it perspective. For that franchise, is he worth 40 million at the end of the day? Or obviously to them he is because they paid him. But
Right.
from the outer aspect, from your perspective, is he worth 40 million?
CC.
Would you take Derek Carr and put him in Dallas, Cornelius?
No, no, and as a as a fan, I'm gonna say this. Sometimes you have to take what the players say about players. I know that Derek Carr gets a lot of love from the Raider organization, but if you ask the defenses that have played against him, they've always said that you sack him a couple of times, he starts crying and things like that. That's not a leader that I want. I don't need my leader crying out there on the field. So no, for me, no, 40 million is a little steep for a guy that what have they won? What have they done with Derek Carr? He's been there a while, by the way. And so it's like, what have they really done with this guy to say that I get why they extended him for the money. Don't get me wrong. Let me just say that I understand that's the market, that's the current market for quarterbacks.
Yeah,
That's how things
had
are
no
going.
choice.
Yeah. But even as a Cowboy fan, I say that they've overpaid Dak for what he's done so far.
Hard.
I say that they've overpaid him.
Did
That's the
Did they
market
really?
for quarterbacks. Yes, they
overpaid Dak, man.
Yes,
they overpaid Dak.
Yes, to not even be sniffing Super Bowls, man. Yeah, you overpaid, for the product that you get. But it's the same thing with Carr. It's like, but I guess with Mahomes making all that money there, Russell Wilson probably gonna get a huge chunk of changes if he already has it for whatever he does with Denver moving forward. Herbert's gonna get a bunch of money. I guess in that, so for what's going on there, it's gonna be money given out. And Carr may as well extend and get the money. But ask yourself this question: outside of the Raiders, what team do you see Derek Carr starting on or having an impact on?
San Francisco.
Ooh,
who said
put his team out there? You put him out there in San Francisco as a starter?
Yeah,
because you don't know about Garoppolo. You don't know. He don't know about Garoppolo and
Trey
know how
Lance.
things going. And Trey Lance is going to.
I mean, obviously Trey Lance is expected because he was drafted, but I think if there was
Yeah.
a situation where Derek Carr was in San Francisco, Derek Carr is probably the starter.
I think he could be a starter out in Seattle too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like he could be a starter out there. And now, what I will say,
I think he can start in Philly too.
No. No, don't do that. Now, what I will say, CC, I think
20 teams.
Oh yeah,
they only leave 12. They only leave 12 teams. That's not where he's not going to start.
Would be good in 20 teams if you ask me. 20 teams, really?
20 teams.
You probably can't even name 20 teams, Anthony. You probably can't.
So you don't have to name. Technically, you don't have to name the 20 teams. You just got to name the 12. And he probably Burrow, Cincinnati, he's not going to. Buffalo, he's not going to. As you just said, Denver, he's not going to. Kansas City. Who say Buffalo? He's not going to Green Bay.
Rams.
He's not going to Tampa Bay. He's not going to He's not going to Cleveland. He's not going to LA.
neither LA franchises, right? Like, yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not going to. He's
The
not going
Chargers
to
or the
the
Rams.
Chargers
Yeah,
either.
no,
Yeah.
or the Rams.
So I don't think he's too far
Dallas.
off. When you start, I don't
Yeah,
even know.
Dallas.
Do we say Dallas?
No, yeah, I would say Dallas. No, Philly.
I mean,
No,
they just gave
Philly.
back all the money. I don't think he,
Yeah,
Dallas. I
yeah,
think they locked
Philly,
down their quarterback.
Dallas. No,
I don't even think you
um,
Right.
put Philly and Dallas in there. Like he's not.
New England. No,
I don't know.
no,
I don't think he's too far off with 20 teams.
no.
But what were you about to say though, Bishop or CC? One of y'all was about to say something.
Oh, I would just. Oh no, I was just agreeing. You know, Carter's not a. Derek is not a bad quarterback. People. I don't know why a lot of people are just like Derek Carr. And right now, this season coming up, this upcoming season is gonna prove a lot for Derek Carr because of the fact he has been. They have teamed him up with his old wide receiver in Devontae Adams. So I know that's exciting. He's excited about that. Both of them.
Oh
They've
yeah, they
already
hanging
spoke
out,
about.
doing
Yeah, they've already
workouts
spoke
together.
about it. You know how they've already been hanging out. You know, been already planning on teaming up and getting things together in the off season and trying to get the chemistry back to what it was when they were playing in college. So I don't know. Did he deserve the 40 million? That's yet to be determined. I think we need to see his body of work this upcoming season to see whether or not he was deserving of that money. Just like with Dak, where
So
everybody felt like Dak was deserving of the money, and then now
so
we
we see this comment on the screen from Applewhite.
stop it.
So
Oh
so
my
Right.
God.
this is what I
Now
was
this
going
is
to
the
say, right?
thing. See, this is why I'm
Applewhite is
glad
a
though, Brett.
diehard.
I'm
Applewhite
glad
is
because
a diehard
both of them
Cowboy.
are
Yeah,
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, both of them Cowboys.
Applewhite is a
Die hard.
diehard Cowboys
Die
fan.
hard.
But he's one of those Cowboy fans I think that doesn't see past the trees.
He
And
doesn't.
so
Or
and
doesn't
so
see.
Doesn't.
I mean, because hey, Applewhite, as a Cowboy fan to another, you say Dak did not get overpaid. He got hurt. Well, first of all, he got the money after he got hurt. You know
That
what I
part.
mean? Like
That
they
part.
gave him the money
That part.
afterwards. You know,
That part.
the injury was over and done with. They gave him the money afterwards.
That part.
Let me break it down to you this way. The expectations on Dak were so high when he came out because he took over for Tony Romo, who wasn't all that great to begin with, right? So, but anyway, he takes over. Put that in perspective. He took over for that guy, and then now it's like take us to the next step. It's like, man, win some playoff games. It's like make us relevant again. Is why we want you, but you have not done that yet. So
Get
until
him,
he does that,
CC.
Applewhite, hey, you got to say that he's overpaid until he gets the job done.
Get him, CC. Get him, CC. That's another fan. That's another Dallas fan. Applewhite. He's not against it. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. He's telling you straight truth, bro. Dak has not proven that he was worth that money. He has not. He has not. Everybody want to give out these
so
excuses
I
for
asked
Dak
this
and all of
question.
that. It's not. He's not.
For in a sense of Dak, what is it that he should be proving? What is
What CJ just said. Get
Super
over the
Bowls
hump,
or
bro.
playoffs?
Get over the
Playoff
hump.
wins.
Past the
Playoff
playoffs.
wins.
Past the first round, bro.
Yeah, playoffs, but also getting wins in the playoffs, and also proving that he can play with these receivers, man. I mean, you have to look at it. I mean, Amari Cooper came in with those high expectations. Dak didn't seem like he was very interested in getting that guy the ball. He had his favorite. We all know his favorite was hurt this season, Michael Gallup or whatever, right?
But
He
that's
wants
who
that
they
guy
paid.
more.
That's why
That's what
Gallup
they
said. That's
paid.
why he
That's why he
paid.
got
Yeah.
paid. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
I
paid.
mean, but do you feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's like so Amari is like no disrespect to Amari. Amari came the ball, but at the same time, Dak, these quarterbacks, it's like you take Baker Mayfield, they obviously have what they want or who they want to target. It's like Baker Mayfield put all that focus on Odell Beckham,
Landry. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when it didn't work out, and then Beckham leaves and goes on, now it's squarely on you. So that's going to be the same thing with Dak right now. Like with Amari Cooper gone, no more of this. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. Now you have your guy. We've paid your guy. Let's see what you do with your guy, and let's see where we go. Same thing with Carr. You got Adams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where you go with your guy. Let's see what we do.
Well, it's funny that you say that. What do y'all think? Has it been proven that connections between old quarterbacks and old receiver tandems are paramount? Like we have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. that connection. So do those type of things, or even Jalen Hurts and
Smith.
who's y'all quarter? Yeah, it's Smith. It's like
Yeah.
do those old tandems. Do you think those prove to be effective at the
I
end of the
do.
day?
I
Okay,
do. I totally believe that they are effective. I feel like they make a difference because you've already built a rapport with that individual. Even though it may have been a few years ago when you was in college or whatever, once you get back out, you don't forget. Like Trey, when you and I we played flag football together. You mean to tell me that I don't? Not now, because I definitely can't do what I used to do. But not now. But like 10 years from 10 years or earlier, if I was to have come back and said, oh, you know, say back in 2000 and what's this 2012, I come and say, hey man, let's go out here and play some flag football. You mean to tell me I played with you throughout my years? You don't think I know how many times I can throw the ball to you and know that I can guarantee
that I'm gonna
you're
get
gonna
it.
catch the
Go get
ball?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, despite the fact how long we've been separated or haven't been around each other playing together, I still know what your body of work is. So it is what it is. I totally agree with CC. Dak has to do more than what he's done. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Applewhite, Dak has done a good job, but got hurt. There are 31 other quarterbacks that did not win the big game. Facts, true enough. But however, comments like CC said, Dak was the replace of Troy. I mean, Tony
Tony
Romo.
Romo.
He's pretty much filling the shoes of what Tony Romo did. Tony Romo couldn't do anything to get past the first round, and Dak is falling right into that same realm.
Yep.
So I
That
asked this
same realm.
question. It's funny that you say that. So it just came to me. Is that to the fault or Dak? If Tony Romo can do it, are we saying that Tony Romo was inadequate, now Dak is inadequate, or is that to the fault of the coaching staff, which in some part
But
was
this is
part
the
of his
thing: the coaching staff has changed since
once?
Dak since Dak and Tony Romo.
But yeah, so
Right.
yeah,
Twice,
but
ain't
Mike
it? Hasn't
McCarthy.
it? Haven't y'all had two quarterbacks since Romo? Two.
Nah, it was
Yep.
Um.
they had what's when Romo left, it was still what's his
It was
name
Garrett's team.
it was Garrett still when Romo left, and then
Yeah.
it became and then it was Garrett. So now we're only 1 year removed from Jason Garrett as a quarterback. I mean, as a coach. So
Is it only one? I thought it was
yeah,
somebody else after Gary.
it was Garrett. Then
No.
it went to McCartney, and McCartney
McCarthy.
only
McCarthy. Yeah.
it's been McCarthy only the 1 year, and now so I
No,
would
it's
wonder.
McCarthy 2 years because he had
It's
Andy Dalton. When that got hurt, and then this
Yeah,
past
you're right.
season.
So it's been 2 years, and now it's only been 1 year that McCarthy and Dak correction, because it was
Yeah.
McCarthy wasn't Dick and Dak played the first. Who was the quarterback when Dak got who was the coach when Dak got hurt when he was on
It was
500
McCarthy.
500. It was 500 when he was
It
doing
was
500 yards a game.
it was McCarthy.
Yeah, I think it
So,
was McCarthy. Yeah.
yeah, so I think that Dak still. I think they still they should still be given the opportunity. I'm kind of like not there yet with it. Of course, I think the stain on Dak is the 49ers game, in which you know what I'm saying his decision making in that game.
Right.
Um, but you know what I'm saying, but also you at the beginning of the season, it's unfortunate because the same thing that he was ridiculed for at the end of the season is the same thing that kept him in the game at the beginning of the season, and when they
Yep.
almost knocked off Tom Brady. So it's I don't know, but I just think the jury's still out on Dak at this point.
It is.
Right.
It is because Dak hasn't proven to be that quarterback for the Cowboys to get them to the big game. And Rich Applewhite, I see what you're saying. Are these other losing are all these other losing QBs worth the money, or are we just picking on Dak? No, we just said CC just stated that he doesn't feel that Derek Carr is worth 40 million. But
Right.
you definitely can't say excuse me, you definitely can't say that Aaron Rodgers ain't worth his bag, Mr. MVP. You definitely can't say that. What's the other quarterback that just got received his bag, Trey?
Matt Stafford,
Matt Stafford. You definitely can't say he ain't worth his
Deshaun
bag. He
Watson.
just won his Super Bowl. Really? Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't compare any one of those quarterbacks that's been named recently outside of Derek Carr. Like CC said, none of them are better than none of Dak is not better than any of them. He's not better than Aaron Rodgers. He's not better than Matthew Stafford. It's proven, bro. Matthew Stafford went from one team who was nothing, the Detroit Lions, and went to the Rams and won a Super Bowl, bro. Like, come on, bro. The proof is in the pudding. When it's all said and done.
Let's not forget the missed interception. But anyway,
The missed interception.
What Jet Giants, Washington Seahawks, Pittsburgh Falcons out?
Oh,
we talk about where Derek Carr could have went.
Okay.
So Bishop, I say to you, of course, I don't know how relevant he was. You tell me, and Stephen Horn, if you still on YouTube key, Steven Nelson signs with the Houston Texans for 2 years, $10 million. Former cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is he going to be missed or not?
Nelson, I think that's the one with the tinted hair. He always used to have his hair tinted green. I think if that's what I'm thinking, is the cornerback from Philly. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna miss him. In my opinion, I don't think that we're gonna miss him. Our secondary has been a problem in which we've had some gaps in it for the past few seasons. So I feel like bringing in some new talent, and I feel like there's some talent in a few cornerback and in the secondary in the draft that we could possibly get that could probably be fill those shoes. So in my opinion, I don't think it's a loss for us.
So it was staying in the vein of cornerbacks, which this brings. I think you know what? I think the Rams need to be investigated. I remember when the 49ers, they said Eddie DeBarlo Jr. went and purchased a defense. And I think this is the same thing in which the Rams need to be investigated on. Where are the Rams finding this money at? So, of course, Stephon Gilmore, cornerback, former cornerback, free agent cornerback, has been getting contacted by the Rams.
Okay.
This is blasphemous.
Why?
Where are the Rams getting the money from to pay
we
this
haven't
cat?
even, but we haven't even heard the terms or the money.
They haven't paid because he's visiting Indianapolis. But come on now,
okay.
Are you going to go to Indianapolis and
No,
turn down the
he's going to the
opportunity to
Rams.
go?
He's going to the Rams.
This is like where are they getting the money? They need to be investigated. Cornelius, you're usually you're a very level-headed guy. We need the petition. If I start the petition to get the Rams investigated on where they're getting their money from, or are you going to sign the petition?
Not really, because you look at it, and they stand within the cap, right? It's like, to me, they're not over the cap, right? They stand within the cap limit. So I think it's just about making the adjustments. And I think outside of New England, it looks like the Rams have found that blueprint as far as how to get these big name players to take a little bit less money to come in and play. And, I think what you have to look at is all the endorsements that come with playing in LA. So what you don't make on the field, you will make, in potential movies, in potential, commercials.
LeBron. All right, LeBron.
Bro, can you?
That's the only reason why LeBron went out to LA.
When I seen that, man, I was like, can you imagine? Do you see that on paper? Stephon Gilmore on one side of the field, and then Jalen Ramsey on the other. Linebacker, Bobby Wagner, defensive tackle, Aaron Donald. Like, bruh, come on now.
Boy.
Next thing you know, they're gonna be talking about they got Tyrann Mathieu at safety. Like, come on, man. Like, if Tyrann Mathieu either going to LA, bruh, we gonna. That is some BS. Something's going on. They got to get investigated.
Bro, yeah,
they got to get Tyrann Mathieu. If they're able to get Tyrann to go to LA to play safety, Stephon Gilmore, they got to get investigated. Something's wrong.
And resign OBJ.
And resign
OBJ.
if they
OBJ still a free agent.
if they pull this off, if they
Come
pull
on,
that
man.
off, and some that blasphemy is like that's an investigation. Like if they the way they did the San Francisco 49ers when we sit up and had Dion and Charles Haley and Ken Norton Jr. and all of them and how they sit up and next talk about next but the Barlow had to give the team up. We ain't been right ever since. So you know what I'm saying. So if they sit up and doing that stuff, you know what I'm saying, like you say, a blueprint. They was like, yeah, they done forgot about this blueprint. Let's bring this back. If they sit up and pull that type stuff off, man,
Yeah.
bruh,
Man,
defense win
yeah.
ball games. We know
We
this.
all know it. Win championships, baby. Wins championships.
It'll be some BS. So of course, another one that's probably needs some investigation. Did you understand? Did you hear that Deshaun Watson is likely not to face any type of conduct issues from the NFL, as well as he is not due to be tried for any of the civil suits until March of
After the
next
season.
year?
I figured that. Well,
Yeah.
Bishop,
where does Baker land?
Cornelius, what y'all think?
Where does Baker land?
Baker feels disrespected.
I
Not to
know.
mention
I
that
saw that. I heard about that today.
he
Yeah,
feels
I heard about
disrespected.
He does. He did a
Baker,
whole podcast.
we don't care about your feelings, Baker.
Yeah, he did a
I
whole
mean, I don't
podcast.
know. On a serious note with the Deshaun Watson thing, I have mixed feelings about it because it seems like the bulk of these charges, the bulk of this stuff didn't really come up until he wanted out of Houston. That's why I don't have much faith in that organization. By the way, it's like what a way to derail a young brother's career. But here it is on the flip side of that.
Before you go with that, CC, I think your man has something to do with that, man. Mattress Mike.
You Mattress Mac? You think so?
Yeah, man. He got money to blow.
I'm just saying, not trying to defend Deshaun Watson because when you got 22 of those things, man, when you got over 20 something, it's something a little bit there. Hey, he needs people. I hope he has a better support system now in his corner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're right. His lawyer is a huge MVP. His lawyers or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say this. When they dropped the criminal charges, I already knew which way that was going to go. I mean, we've seen this with the NFL before. Case in point, look at the owner look at Dan Snyder for the Washington Commanders, man. He's still able to do all the things that he's doing. And they've been under investigation how long? And Congress has him under investigation. And, the only head that has rolled from that wasn't even a Washington Commander, right? It was, I mean, look at that. John Gruden took the brunt of something from that camp. Yeah. So,
but I think when you talk about him, I think he's it's a matter of time. I don't think he can dodge too many more bullets. I think it's just a matter of the walls closing in on him now, especially when he done messed over his brethren and kept, and kept money from him. I think he's gonna is gonna come about. But like you said with the Deshaun Watson thing, like it's kind of hard to like 22 of them. Like it left, of course, I was playing with the mattress mat situation. Just, but at the end of the day, like you looking at 23 cases, fam. Like unless someone was just that egregiously after you, like you have to start taking some of that into consideration. Like 22, like this isn't just one coincidence or one or two. 22,
22.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So now without him with no. He didn't. They saying that he didn't violate, which is probably hard to prove if you ain't got no criminal cases. If he violated a personal conduct policy, so it puts Cleveland in a good position, I would think.
Yeah, I think Cleveland. It benefits Cleveland a lot that he won't face anything. That way they can really that way they can say that this is our starter right off the rip, and they don't have to play the what if game. That scenario that we were talking with Baker. If Baker's winning and stuff, I think they get to say no thanks, Baker. And how much more disrespected is Baker going to feel that he's not going to even get to compete for the job?
It is very and because now look at it, he got Amari Cooper. He has two backs in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Yeah, and then potentially potential to bring back Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry too. Like Cleveland went from to maybe the boom.
Contenders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's still more
Yeah,
work to be done. So
Yeah.
Deshaun, made it happen when he transfers, and the poor Baker,
He said
poor
poor
Baker,
Baker.
poor
Poor Baker.
Baker. He's like, I feel disrespected. I read the piece. He's like, I feel disrespected. They told me one thing. He didn't say what he said. They said, but he's like, they told me one thing and did something else.
Right. And that's where he feels the disrespect comes in.
Baker is a business, bruh. It's a
Yeah, and
business,
that's what
man.
all of them been telling them on all these sports shows. Like it's a business. When you come in that when you come into the league, they're looking for your replacement the very next year. Whether you do well or not, they have to look toward the future. That's what the business is about. Because we never know.
how long? How
No one
long?
knows. No one knows whether or not you're going to get hurt, injured. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How your feelings are, or if your team is not winning. Things of that nature. A lot of people are bad on Baker because they feel like he speaks out and he should just shut his mouth and allow things to fall into place. But Baker feels like he's that person who wants to be outspoken, and he feels a lot of analysts and a lot of people feel like him being outspoken is going to hurt him in the long run of being picked up and being maybe possibly a starter for another team. In my opinion, my question for y'all is: do y'all feel Baker is a starter for another team in the NFL?
I
No.
um I would say I don't know. Like, he had mentioned the Seattle situation, but I think, does that mean that he can go there and beat Drew Lock out? Maybe. I mean, I really don't. My problem with Baker is not so much just football alone. It's the way he's approaching the thing. I mean, you're talking about the ultimate team sport, and all we're hearing about is I played injured. I did this. I did that. Or, they disrespected me. They're doing this. Not once has he said, "Hey, I love playing with those guys that I was playing with." Nothing about the team. Nothing
Well,
about. Oh, I think that we could grow under this coach and stuff. So I think that when teams look at stuff like that, when they assess players, it's like, how invested are you in the team? And I don't think he's that. I think he's solely about himself, and I think that's been his problem. Is that when you start looking at a team aspect. Now, with that said, if Pete Carroll wants to roll the dice on him, I mean, I don't really, but I don't know. I think, like, case in point, Matty Ice in Indianapolis, one of the places that was on his wish list, right? Like,
right. He thought that's
Matty
where he
Ice,
was going. He said up to a week and a half ago. He said,
right. Matty Ice. Drew Lock in Seattle right now. I mean,
mm-hmm.
It goes on and on, right? Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. I mean, it goes. I think a lot of these teams have their quarterbacks now. So where would he go that he
So
could even potentially compete?
my personal opinion, CC, I feel like he could probably go out, and I'm gonna say a couple of teams where I feel like he would possibly have an opportunity to compete and maybe win the starting job. Miami, I feel like he could possibly go out there and beat out Tua. My personal opinion, I think he could do it.
You think?
Um, I think he could possibly beat out Tua out in Miami. I know this might surprise y'all. I feel like he could possibly go out to Washington and beat out Carson.
Oh yeah, I give you that one. Yeah,
I can see that happen. In my personal opinion, I think he could possibly go out there and do that. And then my other team was uh, maybe it was just them two right now. But I think them two teams for sure. I feel like he could possibly go out and have a QB competition between those two teams and have a good opportunity to win the position.
yeah. I just would like to see him say that, even whether I'm here in Cleveland, this is what I would like to hear from him. Like, no matter where I am, I'm gonna do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? To show who I am, like whether that's starting or whether that's backup. But he doesn't have that mentality, man. Like Tom Brady was a backup in this league. If Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, are we talking about the GOAT?
Facts. True story.
You have to take. He had an opportunity that Tom Brady didn't have, man. Do you feel what I'm saying? You came in starting. Like, you came in as a projected starter. Do you feel? I mean, so you've had the opportunities. Take advantage. That's all I'm saying. Take advantage of the opportunities. Whatever opportunity you get, take advantage of it.
Anthony's stupid. Anybody can. Mm, Anybody can restart start up a while. I mean, that is what it is, Anthony. I'm sorry, bro, but that's just what it is out there in Washington, man. It is what it is out there in the Commanders. It is. I don't think everybody should wash their hands of Baker yet. I feel a lot like UCC. I feel like he does do a lot of but yeah, I still feel like he can still play. I just gave y'all two teams who I feel like he could probably possibly get a starting position in. And there's probably a couple other teams possibly out there. Minnesota. He could probably go out there and win outplay uh
Kirk Cousins.
Kurt. He could probably go out there and outplay Kurt. That's another team. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
you know,
So as
we yet to see.
And of course, saying we wish, of course, Baker Mayfield the best in any phase, in any case. He might have to go sit somewhere to be a backup, and then maybe get an opportunity because of
Right.
bad play or because of injury in which he gets himself reintegrated into the system and be able to play
right.
again. So, but interesting
I hear you,
enough,
Alvin. We see Baker didn't have no one to look up to. Does any did Sean have anyone to look up to? There's
Right.
only so many.
Deshaun,
Did Sean have anyone to look up to? Did Patrick the Great have anyone to look up to? Did
I
did
mean,
like when it's all said and done, every quarterback that comes into the league is not going to have an opportunity to be able to sit behind a great or a good quarterback or
because I was
both.
gonna say, who did Lamar have to? Who did Lamar Jackson
That
have to look
part.
up to?
Yeah, who did
You know,
Lamar have to look up? Yeah, come on, man.
I
Like
mean,
it is
come on,
what it is.
the Matthew Staffords. Matthew Stafford played in Detroit, bro.
Right,
so
and
thinking,
who did he have to look up to look at in that part? You know what I'm saying?
so
Joe
let's take
Burrow,
that
who did he have to look up to?
let's take that rhetoric and say and apply it to what's going on in the XFL. So of course the XFL has been blasted and blistering with releases and updates. And so yesterday one of the updates that came out with is the 8 teams in which they currently have in place. Out of
I
those
said that
eight
too, Alvin.
teams, out of those 8 teams, they have named and hired the quarterback. I mean the coaches for those teams. So let me know what y'all think about these coaches, gentlemen. Bob Stoops will coach the
Boom!
here we go with this.
Boom! Let's go. You know that was
Bob
coming.
Stoops will coach the Dallas team. Wade
Amen.
Phillips will coach the Houston team. Former
I
NFL
think he's too
player
old.
Terrell Buckley will coach the
Yeah,
Orlando team. Reggie
big up
Barlow
Buckley.
will coach the DC team. Anthony Becht will coach the St. Louis team. Rod Woodson will coach the Las Vegas squad. Hines Ward would be in your
Yeah,
area down there, Bishop. So I know you'll be talking about, hey, let's go pull up at the San Antonio, this XFL San Antonio game. And lastly, Jim Haslett would be coaching the Seattle squad.
Those all sound like good coaches, except for what you call Wade Phillips. Like, ain't he like 100?
yeah. Wade Phillips is old, but uh,
Ain't he like 100 year old?
um, I like them. I like it. I like the idea that they it's a diverse list also. Like
It
when
is.
Hines Ward get even an assistant opportunity in the NFL. I mean I'm just saying I like that move, Hines Ward. I even like the Anthony Beck move.
I do
Some
too.
of these former players getting chances. I mean that's great. And also incorporating the experience, right, with the Wade Phillips and the Hazlitt. I mean
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I
yeah.
think it's a cool.
I like
I
it.
think it's a clear ideal of what happens when you take a look at and you do your research and see what the failures and stuff have been as you look at the organizations, and then when you come upon having an organization, you put in that type of research into play and kind of like trying to build a better product. Of course, you don't know what it is, but right now on paper, as y'all stated, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
To go forth in it, they have other things in which they're trying. So. They put together what it seems like a pretty good team to try to basically make things happen. They already made some moves as we talked about yesterday briefly with the NFL alumni academy to where they're going to be going to utilize that for a farm system for some players. So Big ups to the XFL 3.0 as they call it. If you don't follow them on the social media, check it out. There's some interesting topics in which they have. Additionally, as
And
we
it
get
start
closer to
and it starts next year, right? The 2023
yeah,
season, right?
2023
XFL.
season. Yeah,
March
2023. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, March.
Interesting enough, Trent Brown, as we know, the offside tackle for the Patriots. I took a look at some of his incentives, as CC was talking about earlier, how you get certain incentives in the NFL to try to make up some of those pay. And he has some interesting incentives. Tell me what y'all think about this, especially from a military standpoint. Can you imagine if we had this type of stuff in the military, how people would do with when it comes to maintaining your weight? So he gets 150,000 if he enters under 385 pounds on the first day of the offseason program. 150K. 75,000 if he's under 375 pounds by June 1st.
Mm.
Another 75,000 if he's under 365 pounds by July 15th. 25,000 each week he is under 365 pounds.
That's an incentive for your ass. Good Lord.
Yeah,
God,
for real.
I was saying, man, God,
Right,
good Lord. How you, man?
man.
Which might
Yeah,
be a
that's
difficult task for a big guy. Don't get me wrong, a guy of his
yeah,
stature. I'm sure that might be a difficult task. To us, it sounds easy because we're not that weight or that big,
right.
but for him, that's probably a huge task. But man, that's a crazy incentive plan. Golly.
And then Bishop, I seen you with this post the other day, which I was like, you know what, I gotta bring it here to set up the contract. Just telling him he's fat. So
Wow.
Anthony, man. So I gotta bring it to it. CC, of course, Bishop, we get yours, but it was on your page, so you already know. CC, I asked you the question. All in the same draft,
Mm.
running backs. Who goes number one? Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. Who's number one? Who's your number one? Who's your number one
Ooh,
pick?
Barry Sanders.
Thank you.
Barry Sanders.
Ooh, good call, CC.
Barry Sanders number one.
Good call, CC. Good call. I thought you was gonna be
Yeah.
biased and pick Emmitt Smith.
No, that would have
Good
been Applewhite.
call.
Applewhite would have been like
Oh, we
Emmitt
know
Smith.
Applewhite. He already said it. That's why
You
I
see
thought.
it
Look,
coming.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Right there. There you go. There you
Barry
go.
Sanders.
There you go. He already said Emmitt Smith. He said that on the post.
On
He
the
said Emmitt
post.
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
Without a
stop.
doubt, Barry Sanders, bro.
CC, I picked. It was hard, but I picked Barry
Yeah.
Sanders too. I picked
Yeah.
Barry Sanders too.
That's a lot of talent right there too.
That's
Can you
that's a
imagine
hard
all
pick
that in the
because
first round?
I grew up.
Bruh.
I ain't gonna lie. I picked Barry Sanders, but I grew up loving Walter Payton. I'm not gonna lie. That was like that's who I
Right.
emulated myself. That's who I wanted to play my game because I played running back coming up, and that's who I did practice my game after. It was Walter Payton, sweet inside. That was my dude. You couldn't tell me he could do anything wrong in my eyes. But yeah, Barry Sanders is the guy in which I picked. But it was hard. You talking some of the greatest running backs ever. Jim Brown,
Yes.
Walter Payton.
Yes.
Come on, man. Like that's
Okay.
like that's crazy. But yeah, I saw that post
Yeah.
and I had to repost it. But yeah, we knew AP was gonna say Emmitt Smith. We knew that without question.
Can't see past the trees, I tell you.
It's cloudy.
So of course, you know, saying greatly appreciate y'all coming out to rock with us this morning. High speeds being here for information. We eventually come to that time. We want to make sure y'all get released so that way y'all can go take care of everything y'all got to. So that way y'all can get back to y'all formations at COB. Hey, so tomorrow be sure to come check us out. Of course, be sure to check us out every Monday through Friday right here, or go, you know, saying hit us up, check on subscribe and follow us on our First Formation on YouTube. Follow the E2G for E2G Sports Networks platforms and Twitter. You can find First Formation on Twitter as well. Instagram E2G as well. Of course, you can sign Sim. Where can you find the Sim show at? I almost called him Snook. Cornelius.
CC.
Yes, you can check out the Stimulate Your Mind show, iHeart, Apple Music, tuned in, etc. And you can also check out previous shows on my own website. That's the Sim Show, DASYM Show.com. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, no problem. So, of course, tomorrow we'll be rocking back. Same crew here with a couple more. Y'all know Ron be in the building. Ron Lowe, you hear his perspective with his cracking jokes and stuff like that. But additionally, we
Mm-hmm.
should have a couple of
Special
special,
guest,
yeah, a
baby.
couple of special guests as we talk about some of a little off topic, but still sports, but some of which some of y'all may not know about. We're not going to say what it is. We need y'all to
Nah,
tune in to be able to hear what it is. But you know what I'm saying? If you follow us, you might catch a glimpse and you might catch a post or something in which you can get an idea of what we got brewing for tomorrow. But of course, you know what I'm saying, it's your perspective type situations. Come with your comments. You know what I'm saying? It's all talk, it's all fun, it's all love. We don't we stay and keeping it with the realness. We want to be factual and actual when we talk about that. That's why I can't wait till Friday so I can sit up and uh show y'all what it really is. We greatly appreciate y'all coming with us. Gentlemen, any last words before we get up out of here? Appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you for watching. We ain't seen you in a while.
I know, Sarah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Freddie, thank you all, as always. AP, Richard Applewhite, man, it ain't no bias, man. We know you're a
Alvin.
cowboy for life. We get it. Yeah, thank y'all all for tuning in. Alvin, Freddie, Anthony, AP, both APs, Sarah, all y'all. This show is not a show without y'all, man. Y'all have a great Thursday. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Be sure to come in and check us out. We're going to have some special guests.
We great,
Yeah,
right?
enjoy
That's,
Appreciate
y'all
what,
y'all.
night.
that's what's up, Sarah. Appreciate
Go.
you.
So we're gonna say, like you said, y'all check us out tomorrow. Myself, Cornelius, Bishop, y'all, Ron to be here tomorrow, and a special guest. You know, say be sure to come check us out tomorrow. We greatly appreciate y'all coming out. Look forward to seeing y'all. It will be Friday, y'all. Ain't got no choice. I'll be on a special location too. I won't be here. I don't know what'll be in my
Uh-oh.
background. Maybe I could put off something like Bishop and how Cornelius be putting, but we, you know what I'm saying, I'll be at a different location, but still, you know what I'm saying, it's still the same energy. Look forward to see y'all tomorrow. Check us out. At this point, fall out.